We are just a couple of days away from the official reopening of Walt Disney World, and in today's video, we're going to give you everything you need to know about the reopening, what you can expect at the parks, the resorts, dining. We're going to cover it all. It's going to be a one-stop Disney shop, so let's jump right in. In case you missed it, last night Disney put out an update regarding resort reservations and theme park tickets for the remainder of 2020. If you remember back to some of our earlier news videos, we talked about how Disney was putting a pause on new ticket sales and new resort reservations for the rest of 2020 while they figured out what to do with everybody who had existing reservations. Well, it looks like they figured that out because as of today, you can make new resort reservations for the remainder of 2020 as well as book new theme park tickets. And they mentioned on the Disney Parks blog that whoever's looking to book a new resort reservation or book new tickets, they are going to stagger the release times throughout the day. And anyone who purchases a ticket also needs to make sure that they make a Disney Park Pass reservation in order to confirm your spot in the park for that particular day. Now let's get into everything that you need to know about the park specifically. We're going to tell you what you can expect upon your return to Disney World in this new initial phase reopening. And the first important thing to note is that masks are required for everybody ages 2 and up. Now there will be mask relaxation zones scattered throughout the park. We've seen this in Universal as well as SeaWorld, and it looks like Disney is going to be following suit as well. One of them is actually over at the Tomorrowland Terrace, where they normally do the fireworks dessert party. That is a relaxation zone where you can go, take a break, pull your mask down for a second, as long as you're keeping your distance from everybody else, and just get a little bit of fresh air. The second most important thing you need to know about going back to the parks is that a Park Pass reservation is required. Just having a Walt Disney World ticket does not mean that you are going to get into the parks. You also need that Park Pass reservation, and along with making that Park Pass reservation, which you can do now, there's plenty of dates available still for later this year and into next year, park hopping also has been temporarily suspended. So you can only go to one park per day, and you can only make one Park Pass reservation in one park for that particular day. And the reason the Park Pass reservation system is in place is so that Disney knows exactly how many guests will be entering each park on each particular day. They have set their daily attendance cap way lower than what it normally is. And these Park Pass reservations are a way for Disney to keep track of who's coming in every single day. Something else to remember is that you will be going through a temperature screening as well, and anybody with a temperature of 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit or above will not be allowed to enter a Disney park. In order to make sure everybody practices their social distancing and keeps 6 feet away from one another, parades, stage shows, and fireworks have been temporarily suspended for the time being. There is no word on when those will be returning. However, during the cast previews, we did see a number of characters make their way out. In Animal Kingdom, they were on those floats on the water and they passed by on the river multiple times throughout the day. And in Magic Kingdom, they had the Mickey and Friends cavalcade that came around. This was unannounced. There was no set time. They didn't want people to gather. But every once in a while, a float or two would come by with a couple of characters on it. We also saw Merida on horseback, which was really cool. And Gaston was also on horseback, which was also really neat to see. And those mini parades and random character pop-ups, those are going to be your only chance to see the Disney characters for the time being during this initial reopening phase. But like I said, there's no character meet and greets, no stage shows. So to make up for it, Disney is doing these random pop-up character appearances. The Photo Pass service will be available. However, the cast members were instructed not to handle any guest cell phones. So you can't hand your phone off to a cast member and say, hey, would you mind getting a picture on my phone? You only can get the Photo Pass picture for now, and if you want to have a picture on your phone, you're either going to have to snap a selfie or ask another, member of your party to take it for you, but those Photo Pass cast members cannot take any pictures on your cell phones. And like I mentioned earlier, the past couple of days have been cast member previews, so I've been checking out other people's vlogs just to see what are the parks like with the reduced numbers. What are they doing to keep everything safe? And I will tell you that there are a number of enhanced cleaning measures taking place. I've seen on people's videos them spray down Splash Mountain completely and then cycle the ride through so it airs out. I've seen the same for Haunted Mansion, as well as Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. So it looks like they're going the extra mile to every few rounds or so that guests go on. They disinfect the ride, let it go one time through so it airs out, and then guests can enjoy it right after. Now let's talk about dining. And in case you missed it, a few days ago, Disney put out an update saying that all guests can now book dining reservations 60 days in advance of their arrival. So there is no more 180-day booking window. It has now been narrowed down to 60, but those reservations are available now. So if you have a vacation coming up within the next 60 days, or maybe today is 60 days from your arrival, you can now make your dining reservations. Now, if you're planning to dine inside any of the theme parks, it's very important to know that you need a park pass reservation in addition to your confirmed dining reservation. The dining reservation alone is not entry into the park. You need a park pass reservation for that particular day in that park, as well as your dining reservation. So for example, if you're planning to dine at the Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater, you cannot have a park pass reservation that day for Magic Kingdom and then hop over to Hollywood Studios later for dinner. Your park pass reservation needs to be for Hollywood Studios, and you also need your confirmed dining reservation for Sci-Fi in that example. Now, if you're looking to dine at any of the Disney resorts, a confirmed reservation is required for day guests. So if you're not a resort guest staying overnight, and if you are a resort guest staying overnight, it is highly recommended that you have a confirmed reservation. So make sure you have your dining reservation, whether you are a resort guest or not. That's just my tip to you. Have it either way so that you're covered and you don't have to worry about a wait or not being able to get in if it's a busy day. You'll be able to get in with that confirmed reservation. Now, we can't talk about food without talking about one of my favorite things of all time, the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. And that is going to be taking place this year. It begins on July 15th, which is the same day that Epcot reopens to the public, and it's going to run through the fall. There is no confirmed end date as of now. Disney just says the fall. So I would expect this to go probably throughout the same time frame as we're used to, which is early November. There'll be over 20 signature global marketplaces so that you can try all different foods throughout the world. It looks like there's going to be less booths this year than there are in previous years. I can't confirm that for sure, but just judging by a few different things that I've read, it seems like it's going to be a slightly condensed version of the Food and Wine Festival. And sadly, there will be no Eat to the Beat concert series this year in an effort to promote social distancing and avoid crowds gathered in one place. Epcot has decided to cancel the Eat to Beat series for this year, which is a bummer, but again, I understand given all the precautions that they have to follow. Now, if you're one of those Disney park goers that likes to do some of those extra things while you're on vacation, if you like taking your kid to the Bippity Boppity Boutique, or if you like checking out Wide World of Sports, or if you like maybe doing the Wild Africa Trek over at Animal Kingdom, this next part is going to be very important, so listen up. There are a number of things that are going to be unavailable when the Disney parks reopen in just a couple of days. ESPN Wide World of Sports is going to be closed for obvious reasons. They're going to be having the MLS as well as the NBA resume their seasons very, very soon over there at the end of July. I think the MLS is actually starting soon if they haven't started already. So ESPN Wide World of Sports is closed. Spas, salons, and the Harmony Barbershop on Main Street will also be closed, along with the Bippity Boppity Boutique. Now, I know that's a bummer. There are so many kids that love going to the Bippity Boppity Boutique, and the parents get a kick out of it too. You get to see your daughter dress up as a princess. It's just very magical, but unfortunately, due to the contact that the cast members would have with the kids, touching their hair, styling it, it's not something that they're going to be doing at this time, but hopefully it resumes in the future. And on July 15th, when Hollywood Studios opens, Savi's Workshop will be unavailable, and you will not be able to build your own lightsaber, which definitely is a bummer. That's one of the biggest draws of going to Galaxy's Edge, is to be able to build your own lightsaber, but of course you're touching all those parts. There will be a lot of sanitation that needs to take place, and I have no doubt that Savi's Workshop will return one day, hopefully in the near future. In the meantime, the Droid Depot is open and is taking reservations. So it's interesting that the Droid Depot is open and you're able to do that, but Savi's is closed, and both of them involve you touching pieces and all these various things. But I have a feeling that the Savi's is more tied to the fact that that's a show, it's a close indoor space, and there's really not a lot of distancing that you can do there. So I get it, but it's just a bummer to have, Savi's Workshop closed, one of the staples of Galaxy's Edge. Now, as far as the resorts themselves go, the DVC properties opened on June 22nd, so those have been up and running for about 2 weeks now. And tomorrow, on July 10th, Pop Century and the Contemporary will be opening. So when Disney World reopens to the public on July 11th, you'll have all the DVC properties as well as Pop Century and Disney's Contemporary Resort open. And the next resort to open will be Caribbean Beach on July 29th, Polynesian and Art of Animation on August 12th, and a few others to follow, which you can see on your screen there. Now, at the time of filming this video, if you didn't see a Disney resort on that list, or if it's not a DVC resort that is already open, Disney doesn't really have any plans to open it before the fall. So just keep your eyes peeled. If you have a Disney reservation for any of the resorts that aren't listed, I would imagine that Disney has already contacted you to try and switch to move into a different resort property. But it might be worth giving Disney a call just to talk it through and see what your options are if you're staying in a resort that doesn't have any reopening plans right now. And lastly, let's talk about transportation. How are you gonna get to the parks if you're a resort guest? Will everything be up and running? Can you take the boat? Can you take the Skyliner? Pretty much yes. Buses and monorails will implement a combination of physical distancing and will also have physical barriers to provide separation between guest parties. And the Disney Skyliner will load one party per gondola when it returns to operation on July 15th. If you're going to be driving in, auto plazas will offer cashless payment. Parking lot trams will not be available at this time. And one last very important thing, if you are coming from the tri-state area, the mandatory 14-day quarantine has been extended until September 7th. It was set to expire on July 7th, and Governor DeSantis extended it another 60 days. So it now runs through September 7th. So if you're coming from the tri-state area, it's going to be difficult to probably get on Walt Disney World property and have a resort reservation. I don't really think they're going to let you into the resorts if you're coming from New York. I'm sure they're going to check where you're coming from. But if you're like me, and if you're from the tri-state area, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to go to Walt Disney World. Just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that in case any New Yorkers or tri-state area people had a vacation coming up soon. So that is going to do it for today's video. That is everything you need to know about the reopening of Walt Disney World. Let us know down in the comments below, are you going to be going this weekend? Are you attending one of the annual pass holder preview days? Or maybe did you push your vacation off into 2021 when things maybe start to become a little bit more normal again? Let us know down in the comments below. And as always, if you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a nice big thumbs up. It really helps us out. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button down below and turn on notifications so you don't miss any Disney news videos in the future. And with that, we'll see you guys real soon.